Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah is urging faith-based organizations and civil society groups to call out politicization of COVID-19. It's been one of the major issues emerging as far as coronavirus is concerned. You've heard the NDC speak and then the NPP response, or vice versa. Well, today it was one of the things they discussed at the press conference. Listen to Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah.
We appreciate the recent calls for a de-escalation of the growing politicization. These calls are in line, if you recall, with calls that we started making right here from this podium about a month ago, that it is important for the country to remain focused on the common enemy. The president has been making it in his speeches. We have to focus on the common enemy, that's COVID-19, and not on one another. Initially, when we started making these calls for an apolitical discussion of the subject, and for us to create more room for the experts to do the analysis, we were mocked. You'll recall some of the political leaders were mocking us and making all sorts of comments. At that time, some of the very respected persons who are making these calls for a de-escalation of politics today, at that time they were very quiet. Because as it appears, their political leaders and their candidates were championing a political agenda at the time. So they were very quiet. Now, when political actors from the government side are also now responding politically, all of a sudden they say everybody should begin to tone down on politicization. That is the truth of what has happened so far. The nation, in all honesty, stands a real risk of losing focus and degenerating into partisan political banter, while the real key issue of COVID-19 and managing it is relegated to the background. That's a real risk that we run, where we are going. And this risk, we started, as I mentioned, we started warning a little over a month ago. So it's important that we all not be silent when our candidate is politicizing the matter, only to speak when other people start responding politically. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. Let's be honest in this country. If we don't want politics in this matter like we are preaching it, when people start politicizing it, the faith-based groups, the religious leaders, the civil society organizations, the media, call it out that this is politics, let's put it aside and focus on the enemy. If you don't, the other side also has politicians. They will start politicizing it, and we will be the collective losers. And so we'll go back to that prayer we prayed about a month ago, that let's focus on the common enemy, that's COVID-19, and let's put the politicization aside. If senior statesmen sit around because their political candidate is politicizing a matter and they choose not to condemn it, religious leaders, civil society groups, everybody sits by, then don't be surprised when political actors from the other side also start responding. However, we still have an opportunity to keep our collective focus and to cut out partisanship so that we can win together.
So what do you think? Are we missing the mark? Are we depoliticizing this? Are we politicizing it to the detriment of our ability to deal with this particular problem? I'd love to hear from you. What do you think? And what is your truth? How do you think we can move on from here? Do send us your comment on 0540109009, and I'm happy to share that with the rest of the world.